Hello, everybody. How are you? So today is our kick-off birthday celebrations. 5 years of United ArtSpace. It's crazy. It's been a crazy, crazy 5 years, and actually longer than 5 years, because 5 years ago it was when I just decided to set it all up. So we've got a fun week planned, and I am so excited that there's over 8,000 people signed up to celebrate with us, which is incredible. It's probably going to hit 10,000 because we've got so many people signing up every single day. And I know that there's lots of people out there that share the same birthday. There's been lots of people saying it's my birthday as well. So big happy birthday to everyone else who has a birthday out there as well. And I just want to say, I'm going to talk a little bit about what we've got going on over the next week. We've got some exciting things to announce that we've been working on behind the scenes. Now, I have just sent an email out with the links, and not all the links are live yet. We literally are working behind the scenes, getting the magazine ready. The magazine will be live in about 10 minutes. Katie is working behind the scenes, getting that ready. So by the time I finish this live session, all the links in the email that I've sent will be live, hopefully. So I want to say, first of all, I just want to say a massive big thank you to all of you guys, girls, and everyone inside our community that's come and gone over the years. It's just been the most incredible 5 years ever. And you know, we've got years and years to come yet. We've got so many big plans for United ArtSpace, and I have to say a big special thank you to our members. So we have members of United ArtSpace, and it's without their contribution that we wouldn't be able to do this. So a really big heartfelt thank you to our members of United ArtSpace, because that enables us to do all of these free workshops and exciting sessions that we've done over the years. And we've impacted the lives of so many. And I've been really reflecting back, and one thing that I love about our community, and we've had so many people say this to us over the years, that our communities are one of the safest, non-judgmental communities that are out there. And of course, I know there are other groups and communities that are amazing. We're not the only one. But I am really proud, and that's not us, that's you, and that's everybody who's involved in this. You know, we've had some people who've said really bad things, and we've got rid of them and we've dealt with it. Very few, though. I can count on one hand, I think, the amount of times that's happened in the last 5 years. And that's what scared me years ago about creating a community. I had lots of fear around, what if we get loads of horrible people? And we've got to kind of mediate between arguments and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to set up United ArtSpace to be that person. But what I found is, we have so many people from different walks of life, and I get messages all the time saying how United ArtSpace has helped people. We've had people who are recovering addicts, people who have endured abuse, people who have been homeless. I've had so many messages over the years from people who've said, this community and this space that you've created has just given me something to focus on. It's given me something to stop me going back down that path, or the depression that I was feeling, or returning back to something that I was doing that was easing the pain. But on the flip side, we also have people that have had ups and downs, but come from really privileged backgrounds. And we have professors and doctors, and we have people who haven't been educated and some that have. And it's amazing to me how we bring all these people together, different backgrounds, genders, race, beliefs. We bring you all together, and everyone has a shared passion of making art. And that is the power of art. This is why I love running United ArtSpace, because art brings us together. We all have a shared passion of being creative, of exploring art, and whatever that reason is, whether it's to ease pain, to bring joy, whatever it is, that's what's within all of us. We have this itch and we want to make, and that's what brings us here. And that's why it's so amazing. And that's why we, inside our communities, inside our hub, which is where we help people make art a living, we have so many different people in there, so many different backgrounds. And it doesn't matter what your background is, there's always someone there who's going to cheer you on and help you. Doesn't matter what stage you're at. We've got people who are at complete beginning stages, learning how to use art to express how they feel. And we have more advanced, and everyone, it just feels so equal. It really does. And thank you. That's all down to our community and all the amazing people that we have in our community. And you know what? Over the years, I've been running some numbers because I was trying to think, like, how many people have we impacted? And, this is just in terms of people that we've had sign up for things and take part. Obviously, we have lots of people take part in things they don't sign up for, but it's at least 50,000 people now that we've kind of interacted with or impacted over the years. And I've added up, I've hosted over 50 online free art challenges or events now, over 50 over the last 5 years, to really help people and connect people together. And this is a really shocking one. I've produced more than 500 live videos. And I think I'm no good at maths, but I think that's around about 30,000 minutes of talking. No wonder my throat is sore. I've got a really weird throat recently, and I'm sure it's just 5 years of talking non-stop. But it's been worth it. It really has. I've absolutely loved it. In fact, I remember back in the day, I'm going to share one of my first live video where I announced United ArtSpace was opening, and I'll share it in a second. And I did a pretend cutting the rope of the Facebook group that we launched. And I just remember back to that day. So that was 5 years ago today that went out into the world, where I announced this dream that I had to create United ArtSpace. And I just wanted to, I will talk in a minute about how I've got to this point. Because I think it's really, really important to share, because I remember years ago when I was looking at other people doing things like what I was doing, and I remember thinking, I could never be like that. I don't have enough knowledge to do that. I don't have enough courage to do that. I'm not confident enough to do that. I don't know. I'm an imposter. I'm just making all this up. I had all the fear when I first started out. And also, it's been a really, really bumpy road as well over the years. So in a minute, I'm going to share a bit of the journey, because I think that even if it reaches one person, it makes you feel like you're not alone in what you're feeling, then it's worth sharing that today. So I also just I'm going to give an overview of what's going to happen in the next week as we celebrate. But I just want to also just say a few more thanks to one of my best friends, Sonia Beardsmore. She literally, I nearly said Sarah then. Sonia, I do know your name. She's like my biggest fan, and she listens to all my live videos. She's not an artist, she doesn't do anything creative, but she's been my biggest fan for years, and she's always showing up. And so big thank you, Sonia. I love you so much. And she's always been on the other end of the phone when I need to cry. And Sharon Griffin, another amazing friend of mine. Most of you might know Sharon. In fact, she's coming in on Monday to do a talk with us, which will be really, really incredible. But she's been my muse throughout all of this. Sharon is a full-time amazing artist and has been an artist for decades. And yeah, she's been my muse and by my side when I felt really scared to do all of this. And as I've created content, I kept asking her, what do you need to know as an artist? What is it? And I usually create everything for Sharon, which then is just fed out to help everyone else. So She's an incredible, incredible person. And then I've got to also just say a big thank you to all my family and friends who have supported along the way. And Andrew, my ex-husband, I laugh because he's still my best friend and he's been a massive support as well. And so there's lots of people behind the scenes, and now we have a team as well. And a big thank you to them. Um, there's just so many people to thank because it's not just me that's created United ArtSpace and what it is today. There's just so many people who've contributed towards what it is and made it this amazing place. And now we have an amazing community where it's just so giving and caring and supportive. And especially in the hub, I feel like I've created a load of mini-me's because I see lots of my members now replying and giving support and help just the way I would say it, and it's so heartwarming, it really is. So I want to share what was going to happen this week. So every day for the next 7 days, we've got an inspiring talk with different people. We've got Maria Brophy coming in tomorrow. She is an amazing art coach, and her husband is an uber iconic artist, surf artist. So she's going to be talking with us about how you can live life on your own terms, how they've brought in hundreds of thousands through art sales. So that's going to be a great talk. Then Sunday we have a drop-in art session. We're going to make art together. And then Monday we've got a talk with Sharon. So Sharon's coming in. And by the way, this has been emailed out and you can see a calendar as well. If you go to yourartmatters.com, all the details for the event are on there. Then Tuesday we've got a session with some of our members. So we're going to have members coming in to talk to us about their journey and share some inspiring stories with you. They're always really, really amazing talks when we bring our members in. And then on Wednesday, we've got an art and mental health talk with Dorota and Jennifer. And then Thursday, we've got another talk with our members in the morning. And then we've got another talk that day, later in the day, with Artwork Archive. And they're an amazing company and they're going to share their story as well. So we've got lovely talks. And if you can't watch them live, there'll be a replay until the end of the month, so the 30th of April. And then every day we've also got a drawing prompt, which is going to go out on our page and also by email, and it'll be on the yourartmatters.com webpage as well. So today's prompt is to create a sign or some kind of artwork that says, I am an artist. Now, you might be terrified to write this. Some people might not be. And then we shared some examples in the post you can see on our page. And we want the feeds to be full of people proudly sharing, I am an artist. We just want to see as many posts as possible. You don't have to be in it. You can do a selfie. But that's today's prompt. And I think that everyone should own that statement from today. And I've given a dictionary definition inside the challenge, which is someone who makes art as a profession or a hobby is an artist. And the sooner you start saying it and you keep saying it, you'll feel like an artist. So that's today's challenge. Now, if you don't want to, if it really makes you uncomfortable writing, I am an artist, because I know it does for some, just create something that gives you that feeling of being an artist. You know, you don't have to take it literally. You can think out of the box. But that's today's prompt. I am an artist, and you can create some artwork. You can do that now as well, because actually, usually on a Friday is a studio session over in the hub. So I'm sure we've got some of our hub members in the background making art as we speak. So that's today's challenge. And then also, we've got our first ever magazine. This is so exciting. It's something that I've wanted to do forever. I've always dreamt of having a magazine coming out. How cool would that be? And then two of our members posted. It was Woody and Gemma, and they said, oh, we've got this idea. Could you do a yearbook for the hub members? Which we are doing. We're doing a yearbook for our members of United ArtSpace behind the scenes. But that prompted the idea of, okay, what do we need to do to get this yearbook done? Why don't we just do a magazine at the same time? So we've created our first ever magazine, and that's going live today. It should be live right now. I'm not sure if it is. It'll be live by the end of this talk, and it's the Your Art Matters magazine. And we have loads of interesting articles like how to be more eco. We question what art is, and we featured some of our members that make non-traditional type artwork just to get us really thinking out of the box. And then there's interviews with Sharon, with some of our members. We've got art and mental health feature, art and sensitivity from Paul. We have an art recipe. So lots of inspiration pages that you can cut out. So yeah, really proud of this magazine. So that is available to you for free, and it will be on a website. There's a digital copy, and you will be able to buy a printed version if you want to. From that leads me to the next thing to announce, our new shop. So one of my dreams when I was setting up United ArtSpace years ago, a lot of people in my community know that I visualize. So I kind of create a vision of what I want in the future, and it's really far-fetched, and then I visualize myself doing that. And one of my visions has always been to set up a charity. So I love running United ArtSpace. I love bringing people together, and one of my big drives is to give back. And one of my big visions inside my head has always been me handing over a check, which I know sounds a bit egotistical, but handing over a check on the stage to a charity. And that's just one of my visions inside my head. Whether I'll do that, I don't know, but the vision is the symbolic reference to giving back. So it's always been on my mind, but life is busy and money's been tight and just never really been able to find a way to set that up until now. So a long time ago, people said to me, oh, you should create merchandise. And I was like, yeah, I've got enough to do. Thank you very much. But we have now set up our own shop, and we have created a line of merchandise. And what we're doing is we are giving 100% of the profit to a charity called TPA, and they provide art courses and art resources to the most undeveloped parts of Mauritius. And I feel like this is our first step, our first baby step towards building this charity that I have a bigger vision for inside my head. And you know what? I think when I look back at how I've done things, it's always that it feels like a small thing to do at the beginning, and things grow and grow and grow. Anyway, I'm rambling, but this is, so we've got Your Art Matters mug, and we have, I don't have all the merchandise, it hasn't arrived in time. I was hoping to be wearing it today. We've got a warning, artist at work, do not approach. We've got hoodies and t-shirts with different designs on, and then we've got aprons too. So I will start wearing these now. We've got these aprons. This one's a hub one. That one's not on the shop yet. But we've got different designs, and we have two of our members who featured their artwork as well, Dorota and Jennifer. And they have very kindly donated their artwork to be on merchandise, with the profits going towards that charity. So that feels like a really nice thing to do. We've sent an email link. You can go and have a look and check out the shop. So yeah, I'm really excited to announce that today, because it just reminds me 5 years ago when I first sent out a video saying this is what I want to do, and now to think how far we've come, because we've now got a podcast, a magazine, and the merchandise. It's just incredible. It really, really is. So yeah, we have a podcast which has just launched, which is the Your Art Matters podcast, and I've issued 3 episodes just for this event, and they are Make Art Your Living episodes. There's 3 of them, and I've broken down into tiny little videos. I think they're like 10 minutes each, what you can start doing right now to start thinking about getting your art out into the world. So for everyone who listens, to those 3 episodes and shares them on their stories or social media and tags us will be entered into a competition. And every day we're going to be giving away some of our Your Art Matters merchandise and a £100 voucher on Amazon for you to buy lovely art materials. So all the details for how to enter that is going to be on the website yourartmatters.com, and we will announce every morning at 10:30 when we launch the drawing challenge prompt. We'll announce who the winner is. So there's a little bit of fun. So I just want to share now a little bit of background of how United ArtSpace came into being. And I'm just going to share now the first ever video of me, which I've got to apologise because my face is right above the... I used to do lives with my face right against the camera. I don't know why. So I'm going to share this really quickly now. Hold on. Right. Let's just share my screen. So share. Okay. Is it that one? Can you see that now? Let's go back. Yeah, you can. Let's pull this out a minute. Right, so let me turn the volume up. I'm not showing you all of it because I waffle on for 10 minutes about the history and all of this. I've just got to show you.
So I'm actually going to make the virtual art studio live right now. It's so exciting. We are, because if it was a real art studio, we'd be cutting the rope now. So I've decided to instead, sorry, there's a reflection here. We are going to change the settings because the group at the moment is set to private. So we're going to go. No, we're not. Going back. Sorry. This is when things go wrong when you do it live. So the virtual art studio. Edit group settings. There we go. And we're going to change the privacy settings here because it's secret at the moment. No one can see it. So now confirm. The group is live, so you can actually get joined us now. So that's it. It all begins here. So I'd like to ask you to sign up. It's www.unitedartspace.org. If you sign up there, you will be on our mailing list and you'll get to hear about the course that we are launching soon. You'll get the briefs and you'll just get loads more information about the business. And if you know anybody that would be interested in joining the virtual art studio, then please share this video, tell your friends. Just want as many nice, supportive people in the group as possible because it's all about helping each other. And we feel really passionate about helping others as well. And we just want to get a really nice group of people, group of artists, and help each other do things that we love. That's it, basically. So thank you so much for listening to me. And don't forget to share. And I will see you soon. Thank you. Bye.
So that was literally 5 years ago, where at that point, I think we had like 5 people inside the group or something like that. And I was terrified. And I realised I was wearing a very similar dress. It's not the same one. That wasn't on purpose. And red must be my launch colour. I know. Hey June, nice to see you here. Oh, June's been in my community since the very, very beginning. She has. And in fact, the drawing challenge that I've pulled out, the examples that I give inside the drawing challenge, except for today's, they're new. I've pulled out the drawing challenge that we did 5 years ago and the drawings that people did from 5 years ago. So that was really, really lovely to reminisce back. But I just wanted to share that video with you as well, because it reminds me of how terrified I was back then and how I just had this dream. I didn't know what it was. You know, I wasn't doing this to make money. I literally just wanted to bring people together. I didn't know what it was going to turn into. I just had no clue. And I remember, let me backtrack to how I got to that point very, very briefly, because it's a big, big, long story. But basically, throughout adulthood, I've been, troubled troubled with my mental health big time. I spent years with dyslexia and ADHD without being diagnosed, and that brought on so much insecurity and anxiety. Like, I I can't read very well, and I remember having huge anxiety about what if I have kids and I can't read the kids' stories? I used to panic so much about that. I didn't even have kids at the time, but I used to think, how am I going to read stories to my children? I can't even read children's books. I still struggle now. It's really embarrassing, but I can laugh at it now. I still struggle reading some of the kids' books. And my kids go, no, mummy, it's pronounced this way. And I've always struggled with numbers. To this day, if you say to me, what is 10 minus 7, I still have to go 7, 8, 9, 10. I just don't know. I just can't grasp it. But as a young adult, I hid all of that inside of me. I felt flawed. I felt like, what is wrong with me if I can't even take away the most simplest of numbers? And it crippled me. It was so awful. Um, And I used to sit at school and daydream, and then the teachers would ask me a question and I would panic. And all of this started at 11 when I had my first panic attack. I was 11 years old and I remember it. I remember standing by the door, not wanting to go to school because I was terrified of sitting in the class and not listening again and everyone looking at me. And I would just all the panic attacks started then, where I'd get red, I can't breathe. And then I just went into my teenage years really, really depressed, troubled. I was on medication from the age of 13. And it was just horrible. It was horrible. Um, and it wasn't until and I didn't have art in my life either, because I was told at school, because I missed a lot of school. I hardly went to secondary school because I was just so sick all the time. I was depressed, and it was tough, really tough. And so I desperately wanted to get back to school in the last year, but I'd left it too late. And I remember doing my final art submission, and I was trying to create the same piece I did when I was 11 and I was then 15, and it was rubbish. And well, it wasn't rubbish, but you know, I hadn't moved on at all in the 5 years of school. It was the same drawing that I did, and I submitted it thinking it was the best thing ever, and I totally failed. And I was told it was not very good, and in that moment it crushed me, and I thought there's no point making art ever again. And I walked away from art. It was like one of my passions. And it was, yeah, one of my passions from being a small girl, painting Postman Pat's van over and over and over again and being amazed that I could do that. Um, and then I did not have art in my life until then. When I was in my mid-20s, I was diagnosed with dyslexia and ADHD. And it was like, oh my gosh, now I know what is going on. And I remember reading a book and it said that dyslexic people are usually creative. And I thought, well, why am I not creative? And then I thought, oh yeah, well, I'll just sign up to an art class. And that's where it all began. And so from then, which was, I don't know how many years ago, because I can't do maths. But at that point, art came back into my life. And I did a painting class. And, I was still pretty rubbish. But I loved it. I didn't care, because I was painting on a Saturday and I was painting with older ladies and it was lovely. And we'd have a cup of tea and we'd sit there for 2 hours chatting and painting. And it was just lovely. And then I just kept going from course to course and it was opening my eyes. And then I ended up, because I had a huge chip on my shoulder about education, because I completely failed all education. And if you know anybody out there who's in this situation where they've failed at school and they just feel like they've failed their whole life, because that's how I felt, share this video, because I honestly felt like I just ruined my whole life. back then when I didn't go to school and I failed all my GCSEs, and I just thought there's no hope for me. I'm just not going to end up doing anything. And I convinced myself for years that I'd amount to nothing. And I always struggled. Everything that I did, it felt like it was hard. And then getting the diagnosis started to help, but it was still a big, long road ahead of me to deal with my mindset, because I was programmed to think that I was a failure and that I'll never make any money. I had this mindset of I'll never make money because I'm flawed, because of my dyslexia. I won't be able to earn anything. And I've actually had this belief just until a few years ago. I literally, that's what I convinced myself. I'm capped. I can't. And it seemed like every time I tried to earn a certain amount of money, I couldn't. And I convinced myself that's because of my dyslexia and ADHD. It's really weird. And so I went on this path, didn't know where it was taking me. I had a really good job. I ended up taking a sabbatical from my job because they said that I couldn't progress because I didn't have an art degree. Again, you can't be promoted. You've got to stick at this level. I was like the lowest level in the company, couldn't progress because I don't have any qualifications. Always been told you're not good enough. You can't do this, you can't do that because you just don't have this and you don't have that. It crushed me as a person, absolutely crushed me, to the point then I was literally having panic attacks all the time in social situations. I used to have to do weird things like take my shoes off. I still do that now sometimes. For some reason, if I take my shoes off, it like regulates my body temperature, and it's become a habit now. I think that when I take my shoes off, it just calms me down. It's like an OCD thing. And so yeah, I've got all these funny little quirks, and when I had to deal with all that stuff, but that's what brought me to art, was all of those challenges, and it saved me, because then I just poured myself into art. And what came from just sitting with the ladies doing the paintings of deers and fish, what came from that later was me using art then as a way to just explore how I felt and what had happened to me, and all this stuff started to come out through art. And I realized at that point then that it was healing me in some way. I didn't realize it at the time. Now looking back, it was, and it was like a big massive therapy. I went back to art school and I got my degree, and because I'd never thought I would amount to anything. And then I got my degree, and I spent 6 years painting and immersing myself in art, and I sold pieces and had exhibitions, and it was the best feeling ever. I wasn't making enough to make a living, but it felt great. It just felt great. It felt like finally I found something that I enjoy. And I was still being told, you're not that great. I was still told you'll never be a painter because you're just not good at painting. Um, and so that stayed with me, those comments stayed with me. And then when I was painting, though, I still kept saying to myself, but I want to help people. I just want to help people. And I've said that all my life, and I just didn't know how. And it's really weird now because like all the dots are starting to add up. And what happened, anyway, to cut a long story short, is I graduated from uni, but I had no clue what to do with my art. And back in the day, by the way, I studied all sorts of things because I had this chip on my shoulder about not going to school. So I did business studies, I did web design, hairdressing, makeup. I've probably done every single course possible. English, I redid my maths. I just spent years learning. And I've done teaching courses, quit them. Oh, so many different courses, trying to find myself. I felt lost. I didn't know who I was. I didn't know what I was supposed to do. I had so many passions and events and marketing, but I didn't know. I felt so lost as a person. And when I graduated, then I couldn't get a job, and I was applying, and nobody would employ me. And then my ADHD was out of control big time at that point. When I graduated, it's almost like I had the art in my life to keep me going. And when I stopped, I hit rock bottom again, and I had to go on really, really, really strong medication, because I got to the point where I was so overwhelmed with life that I couldn't even brush my teeth. That's how bad it got. I I remember going to Vivian, she was my therapist at the time. I literally just could not cope with daily activities. Even just getting out of bed and remembering to brush my teeth was becoming a massive issue. I don't think I've ever been so consumed with stress and overwhelm as much as those days. They were awful. Um, and of course, and I couldn't get a job, and everyone was saying, "Oh, do you regret now doing your degree? Do you regret doing the art now? Do you think you should have done something different?" There was all these comments coming at me, saying, in my eyes, "What a failure you are!" And all my friends who had gone to I'd been in this job with years ago, which was like the best job I ever had, but it was that one where I was stuck at that grade. They wouldn't promote me. Um, they were all flying, and they were all doing really, really well, and I was unemployed, and I remember just crying thinking, "Just what is the point? What am I supposed to be doing?" Um, and so then I had to go through years of really intense therapy and medication, and to get my head back. I completely lost my mind. Um, and yeah, then art saved me again. Art saved me again, and to cut a long story short, anyway, eventually I came off the medication. I got some really good therapy, and I've worked really hard on my mindset since then. I'm really conscious of my thoughts. I can nip things in the bud. But what it brought me to, when I couldn't get a job, I remember sitting in a doctor's surgery reading a magazine, and there was this article. It's really weird how there's signs around us. And I know this might sound woo-woo, but I just think sometimes there's just messages that you can't ignore. And I was in this doctor's surgery waiting for someone else. It was my husband at the time. And there was this whole article on people that couldn't get work, and they ended up setting up their own business. Now, I never thought I could ever set up my own business. That wasn't an option because I'm flawed, I'm rubbish, I can't even do 10 minus 7. I I can't, some days I'm crippled with anxiety. I had all the fears that wasn't an option for me. I can't run my own business. But when I read that article, something planted a seed in my mind. I was like, and I read the article, and that seed was planted then. So then what happened was I started to see things everywhere about setting up your own business. And I saw another article, and then I saw that in my area they were giving grants away for people. But I didn't have a business idea. I didn't have anything. Um, anyway, and then I set up an art studio. So when I sat down and thought, what would I like to do? Years before, I'd been part of an art studio. There was a friend of mine that rented a studio space in Leeds in the UK. And it's like this cool place where everyone rents a space and makes art together. I was just like, what is this place? It's amazing. And so in that moment, I had this crazy idea that, wow, what if I could set up a studio space where we just rent little spaces out? And what materialized was that I found a building, I found a mentor through this program, and I got help. And because I reached out and I said, I'm really, really terrible. I'm scared of all this stuff. And I got a mentor, Nikki Kent. Oh, she was amazing. Anyway, and she helped me with all the business stuff that absolutely terrified me. And then it all began. That was the step of becoming self employed for the first time. But sadly, it all went a bit pear shaped because the building was so expensive to run. The landlords wanted me to take on the whole building. I didn't really have a clue what I was doing. I didn't make any money from it. I was literally paying myself, I think, £100 a month to live on. I don't know how I survived back then. And I did that for at least a year, and I burnt out. It was stressful, and then I had to close it down. And I fell pregnant, and I thought, I can't do this with a baby. And I had to make the decision to shut it down. And and then I felt like a massive failure again. I felt like everything I do, nothing works. I used to want to cry now when I think back to that point, because I really did feel like whatever I do, I just can't make it work. I just can't make it work. and everything is so hard. Why is everything so hard all the time? And I shut it down, and it left me with this horrible guilt because I had to tell all the studio members that they don't have a space anymore, and they were really upset, and it was horrible. And then I just concentrated on being a mum because I had given birth to lovely Morgan and then Isaac really close after. Um, and then it was after feeding in the middle of the night and being at home all the time with two babies back to back, basically, I then thought, wow, I might set up a community online because I was sitting on my phone while I was feeding. And then I started to see people online who inspired me. Beth Kempton is one person. She has a company called Do What You Love for Life. And that whole term was totally bonkers to me because I've been brought up with a working class background. I've been brought up on a council estate in the UK, really rough. My school was really rough, and you work hard, you don't enjoy what you do. And so that's how I, been brought up. So this whole concept of do what you love for a living and for life, just I was skeptical, but I was intrigued, and I started to follow Beth. She seemed like this amazing person that could do things that I could never do. And Carrie Green, she's the Female Entrepreneur Association founder. And I loved her because she's down to earth. And I thought, wow, what if I could do something like that for artists online? And that's when I reached out to Sharon and I said, should we set up this group? I'm really scared. I'm really scared. I'm scared about people being horrible and what if I can't do it and all of this stuff. But we did it 5 years ago today. And that's how it got to that point. And it's just been the most incredible journey since. And I wanted to share another video with you because what I did when I decided to set up United ArtSpace, I didn't make any money from United ArtSpace because I didn't know what I was doing. I was just bringing people together and just doing art challenges and having fun. It was great. I loved it. But there became a point where I just thought, yeah, I can't do this for much longer because I need to make a living. And then that's when I started to think, well, there's all these artists that need help with making art their living. And when I was asking people, what are you doing with your artwork? And they were saying, oh, I'm not doing anything with it. I don't know. Don't know what to do with it. It was heartbreaking. And I just thought, wow, there's all these amazing people pouring out this art and they're not doing anything with it. And then that's when my brain started to go on this, right, okay, I want to help these people. I want to help them get their art out into the world. And that's when I started to explore creating a platform for artists. And I was thinking at the time, I'm not an expert. I don't know what I'm doing. So I'll bring guests in. And every time I kept looking at guests, I kept thinking, but they're missing this and they're missing that. And what I started to learn was I did know more than I realized. And in that moment, I started to write a course to help people. And it's become the 7 Keys course, which over 1,000 people have taken over the years. And it's brought massive success to people, which has been incredible. And I still can't believe to this day that I've done that. I created that course. And now United ArtSpace has grown. We've got like nearly 30,000 people in our communities, on our email list and in our communities. And it's just been the most incredible experience. But I want to share a video now of me getting really, really upset. And I want to share this because quite often we can see people doing the things. I've got the magazine and the podcast and all the things. And it's like, wow. And I remember years ago looking at people who were doing all the things, just thinking, I could never do that. And it was tough. And I want to share a video now that I just found. My kids and I were scrolling and we found it together. And it just reminded me of how hard things are. And we've got to keep going. And getting United ArtSpace to the way it is right now has been really, really difficult at times, but it's the most rewarding thing ever. And it's the same for everyone else being, whatever it is your dream is, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough, but it's so worth it. And it's so worth pursuing because I believe that whatever you put your mind to, you can make it happen. And I'm living proof of that. I've come from such a bad place. And I can't believe that this is where I am right now. And that's why I do what I do, because I just want to help anyone else that felt like me. I just want to give you hope and say it's possible. It really is possible to live your dream. So I'm going to try and share this video now. I don't know how I'm going to be able to do this, actually. I might not be able to because it's in my photos. Hold on. Let's see. Share. Okay. Screen share. Share. Will it? Oh yeah, it will. Look at that. Here it is. Okay. Okay. Where's the play button? Here we go. Where's the play button gone? It's not going to let me play it. Oh. Play button. Should be a play button there. It's not going to let me show it you. Every time there it is. It's hidden. Hold on. I know what I need to do to bring this window up. There we go.
Hello, it's the 31st of August 2017, and yes, I have makeup all over my face because I've been crying. I try not to cry again now. I think I've finally got myself together. But basically, I got really upset today. So it's the 31st, and I've said to people that the hub will launch on the 11th of September, and that's only kind of like 9 days away. And the pressure's been getting to me, and because I've been creating content to help people, and my content is now turning into a course, because I feel really passionate that there's some foundation pieces that people need to lay before they get going into marketing and all that kind of stuff. So it's taken me a lot longer. I've faced a load of challenges, like my Mac can't cope with filming. This is the setup. I was doing some filming yesterday, and there's my board. I did a video yesterday. And it just takes a long time to write it all, then do the worksheets, and then film the content, and then you've got to upload it all. And then Andrew decided yesterday that he didn't quite like the way the site was looking. So we've scrapped it and started again. So I was thinking, we launch in a week, and we don't even have a site to put things in, and kind of don't share this publicly because you don't want people to see that you're falling apart behind the scenes. But this is part of life, and this is why I want to record it, because this is what happens to people and to everyone, and people don't see this bit, the blood, sweat and tears. And I mean, the reason I got upset this morning was because I got angry with the kids because I needed them to get to nursery so I could start work. And my little boy wasn't feeling very well, and I started crying again, and I got a bit angry because I needed him to get to nursery. And I shouted at him. So when we got back, Andrew said to me, look, you're the one in control of this. Why don't you just put the launch back and take the pressure off yourself? And it seems so simple. And I haven't shouted about the 11th. I just put a note out into the group saying the 11th. But so that's what I'm doing. I've lined up a guest expert to join in September. So I've just emailed her this morning. I said, can we put it back, please? And I now feel a big weight has been lifted off my shoulders, because I don't want to rush this and just throw something out. I want it to be right. And I know that I don't want it to be perfect because I have a perfectionist streak, and I've learned that things don't have to be perfect. You just need to get things out, but it has to be quality. It has to be quality content, and it has to be content that people will get results from, and that's important to me. I don't want to just chuck stuff in there and confuse people, or so it's really important to me that I get it right from the point of view of people who are joining. So now I looked at my calendar this morning, and I go on holiday towards the end of September. It's only for a few days, but I am thinking now of launching the first week of October, also just to give me time to promote it and to get people on the list, because I'm going to do a really cheap price, and I don't want people to miss out on that price if they are serious about joining, and because I'm only opening up the registration for a week. So I need to make sure that people know about it, and I just need to give myself a bit of breathing space. So I've done that. And I think we have to remember, don't we, that we are in control of what we do, and we have, so if things are getting stressful like they did this morning, we have the ability to de-stress and make decisions that change our actions. So I've taken the stress off now, and I feel so much better, and I'll be able to focus more now. So I'm aiming now, I think, for the first week of October, which makes me laugh because at the beginning of the year, I said I'd launch this in April. But, I've never done anything like this before, and you just don't know how long things take. So 2 weeks ago, I thought I could create all this cool content I have in my head in 2 weeks' time, but it just takes so much longer than that. So that's what's happening. So I did some filming yesterday, but today I am now going to write up my content. I've got mindset as the first ingredient, so I want to write all that up. And I want there to be some really good content in the hub when people join. So that, people get results, and then have some good content lined up as well. I want some good guest experts lined up. So this feels like the best decision. I'm so pleased. So it just means another month of no money, because I've given up all my work to do this. And that's another reason why it feels a bit stressful, because I feel so passionate about this. But it's a full-time job, and I've had to turn away money from other places to focus on this. So, and then you think, what? No one signs up. But if no one signs up, then you just have to try again or do something different. So all these fears. So anyway, I'm going to go now and write up the rest of mindset. And then hopefully in a year's time, I will look back at this and smile, because it's been a success. And hopefully in a year's time, when I watch this back, I will have learned so much more about content creation, which I've never really done before. And I'll just be whizzing content out to people. Okay, bye.
So strange to watch that back. And yes, it wasn't quite a year to look back and see the success, because there's another video, I can't find it right now, but there's another video after that one where I did end up launching eventually, and it didn't have the success that I wanted. And I still couldn't pay myself. And I was in tears. I felt like my world had ended. Don't get me wrong, I had a few people sign up, but it just covered my overheads. I could literally only pay all the systems and the email things and all of that stuff. And I just cried and cried and cried. But looking back now, you know what? It was tough, but look where it is now. And I just think, I wish I could go back to myself right then and say, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. Just keep going. And you're right, I see comments here saying about the failures. I don't see them as failures. I don't see anything as failure anymore. The studio, it was all meant to happen. I was meant to close that studio down. It wasn't working. I made the right decision. I made the best decision for me and my family. I let people down, but that's life. And watching that video back, I just want you all to know as well that yes, you're in control. And that's one thing now. I look back, I don't have episodes like that as much anymore. Yes, things get stressful, but now I know I'm in control. And if something is feeling really stressful, I can put it back. And like just watching that back, it's so simple. But I was putting so much pressure on myself, so much pressure. And anyway, I just wanted to share that with you because it's the first time I've seen that back since I recorded it. And I wanted to share that with you to show how hard things are. And yes, I'm crying, and you probably have cried and will be crying during your journey as well. And you're not alone, and things are tough. And what's happened since then is I've learned to deal with those times, and I've learned more than anything, my mindset. I can't say this enough. Dealing with your mindset and how to react to things has been the biggest impact on my life ever. That and finding my own voice, be really comfortable with who I am, sharing what it is that I want to do, and removing all of that fear, has also been one of the biggest things I've ever done. And so, yeah, that year was tough. Setting up United ArtSpace was tough. I was crying. It was really stressful financially, but it's been one of the best experiences. And thank you, because without all of your support as well, it wouldn't got to where it was today. So yeah, I'm really proud. And by the way, I have to say as well, we've opened the hub for enrollment. And if you want to join the membership that I was talking about, we help people make art their living. It's become such an amazing platform for artists. And it's the last time we're going to be opening it up for we're going to start selling the 7 Keys course separately, basically. So it's the last time to join the hub in this way. So we are really changing the way we deliver that course that I was crying about. I'm just about to rewrite it, re-record it, and we're going to sell it as its own course in the future, which I'm really excited about. So to see that back about how hard it was to make that course, but it's gone on to have massive success for people. So I just want to share this as well of, let your art take you on a journey. For me, I was selling my own pieces, but it's become so much more than just my art. It's become this community, and everything that I've done through my own art has got me to where I am now. It's making art in the first place. I think if you try not to get hung up on where you're going all the time and the destination, it's important to have a destination, but just let it take you on a journey, and just keep making art as well and believing in yourself, because when you do that, when you keep believing that it's possible and keep that vision in your mind, which is what I did, I just kept visualizing all the time, this succeeding, this happening. And it's been tough and hard, but I'm so happy to be sat here with you all today to say that 5 years on, it's going strong, and we've got so much more to give as well over the next 5 years. I can't wait to our 10th year anniversary and see what happens when we're sat here all celebrating together. But yes, so a fun week ahead now of videos, our drawing challenge. And if you do want to join us in the hub, I'll put a link. The enrollment for the hub will be open until the end of the month. No pressure to join us, but I don't want anyone to miss this opportunity because it's the last time that we'll sell it this way. But either way, I just want you to enjoy this week. I want you to be really inspired by all the videos and the talks that we do. And I want you to walk away from this week feeling like, yes, I can do this. I can be whoever it is I want to be. I want to enjoy my art. I don't want to be so hard on myself all the time. I'm in control. And that's how I want you to feel after this week. And I want you to go off into the world and find your thing, find your voice. So thank you so much for joining me today, everybody. I will come back to the comments at the end and reply to you all. Just want to say big, massive thank you from my heart, honestly. I never thought I'd amount to anything, and to know that I can help people has just been the best feeling in my life. It's like finally I feel like I'm doing something that's me, you know. I think that's what's important. You don't have to change lives. It's about doing what's within you. If that's being an artist in your own little hut and selling it wherever, you know, everyone's journey is different. You don't have to do life big changing things. It's about what is inside you, who are you, and owning that and honoring that and going, yeah, this is what I want to do, this is who I am. So have a great day, everybody. I can't wait to see your drawings. I want to see all those pictures with I am an artist. Even if you don't have time, just literally get your biro out, draw it on a piece of paper, hold it up, own it. And we will be sharing them like crazy over our social media as well, so that we can just all share that message of all the artists around the world. So take care, everybody. Sending you big, big love, and I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.